Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vanessa Sotomayor Vázquez. I am originally from Puerto Rico, born and raised Puerto Rican. I moved to the States in 2015. So I've been 10 years here in St. Louis currently. My story, I'm going to try to condense it to 10 minutes. I am the middle sister of three. My parents divorced when I was 6. And I believe now looking back that was what really shaped my entire life experience. I was a very sensitive child from very early on. And when the divorce happened, I didn't have the tools to understand what was happening. And it really affected me in a very real way. Therapists would say that because I was 6 years old, that was the hardest of the three, because my older sister was older and very aware. My younger sister was a baby and completely unaware. So it affected me the most. And so I grew up with these typical challenges that divorced children grow up with. But I always felt that I was not good enough. I didn't feel truly loved or understood by my family. That was my perception of the story. And I was very much starving for attention, for connection, for love. And I was looking at it. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. And so when I began my adolescence, I was completely lost. I remember, I shared this story not too long ago. I remembered when I first got my period when I was 12 years old, the trauma that caused for me, because I was completely unaware of what was happening and I thought I was dying. And in that moment, my mother reacted with laughter, which now I understand she thought it was funny and cute that, her little girl just became a woman, but it really impacted me in a very real way. That's a longer story. I may get to it, but it impacted me in a very real way. And so moving forward, I spent most of my adolescence and my young adult life searching for approval, attention, affection, and love from boys. I had a very big father wound. My father, we barely saw him. We only saw him every other weekend. So I was always looking for that male energy in my life, that masculine energy. And because I didn't have the tools to understand all of these things about me and offer myself this love, this affection, this attention, and care, I was always looking for all of it externally outside of me. And that was a big chunk of my adolescence and young adult life. Mistakes were made. I made choices that I wish I can take back, but I didn't. And this whole search for approval in the masculine, and validation. I never felt validated by my family. So that was a big deal for me. Now I know in my 40s that validation had to come from within. But nobody teaches us that, which is why I'm here now. And so I went from relationship to relationship, jumping relationship to relationship, looking for these things. I never found what I was looking for. I always was very unhappy. I always felt very unfulfilled. My self-confidence was trash. My self-esteem wasn't, it was just, I always felt not good enough. And I always felt like I was broken. There was something wrong with me. And I grew up in this way, like just completely lost. And so when I moved to St. Louis in 2015, I met my son's father quickly after. I now realize that I was really escaping my life back home because of all the choices that I made in looking for this external validation. And I made my life here. I met my ex-partner, but the relationship was not healthy because I never learned what it was like to have a healthy relationship with a partner. I never had that experience. And so I got into this relationship with my son's father. It was pretty chaotic, just emotionally for me, like 2 years in, but I didn't have the voice. I didn't feel like I had the voice to speak up for myself, to set boundaries, to be strong. I just got lost in the relationship and I started developing very codependent patterns, which I now realize came from generations before me. I found out I was pregnant and I was devastated. I always thought that I didn't want to have children because of how much I suffered through my parents' divorce. I always thought, I don't want to have children. Why would I bring children into this world to suffer like I did? That was my mentality. Little did I know that my child was going to change my life. And he's the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. Definitely my biggest teacher. And so in having my child, I learned the importance of reparenting ourselves because I felt very, very triggered in parenting him. And I understood that I wanted to be the mother that I didn't get. And to get there, I had to clear through all of the trauma, all of the pain, all of the suffering. So I had to very literally reparent myself. And had I not had my son, that maybe not happened, perhaps never happened, or it would have been very, very much delayed. And so when he was 3 years old, we separated, my ex-partner and I. It was already 6 years in the relationship. I stayed there for quite a while, and then I didn't want to leave because I thought I would affect my son and his son in a very real way, and it did. But we're all better now. And so after that, I just continued my healing process, my healing journey. I've had a 20-year-old corporate career in sales since 2005 back home. And back in November of last year, I was let go from my job. And that was when the true spiral began. After many, many years of healing, that particular moment was what really showed me how much of my self-worth I had tied to my job, my career, my income, my status. And I decided to flip the script, to completely pivot. And now I am a certified holistic life coach, a somatic mind-body practitioner. I lead women from burnout to wholeness. I teach from what I've lived my lived experience, the pain, the suffering, everything that I have gone through has had its purpose. And I have been able to heal from a lot of it, if not all of it. Obviously, I think the healing journey is a never ending journey. There's always going to be things and maybe new things that trigger us and affect us. But that was the catalyst of me pivoting my career, finding my voice, understanding that this is what I'm meant to do. I'm here to empower women, to empower people, but specifically women, to be their true selves, to be their authentic selves, to lead from wholeness, not exhaustion, to show up for themselves, and then be able to show up for everybody else around them in the best way.
Vanessa, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. You have really come a long way. Now, I want to know about your journey into coaching. It is such a heart-led and raw experience by the sound of it. What was the moment that made you realize that you needed to use your voice to help other women?
It was the moment that I realized how much I hadn't before, how much I had kept my voice from speaking, myself from speaking up. I think when I started realizing just the lack of use of my voice, how much I had suffered because of not using my voice, because of fearing my voice and being resistant to it. That's when I understood that my voice has power, and I have dimmed it for so long. And like I mentioned before the interview, human design also taught me that I have power in my voice, that this is part of my purpose here on earth. And so I knew that already, but that was more confirmation. But yeah, I think I noticed when I realized the lack of it.
I love the fact that you realized it, because not many women do, and if they do, they don't take action.
Mm-hmm.
But you've certainly embraced the message, and now you're making a difference to so many women's lives. Now, you speak so beautifully about unshakable self-worth. What does that phrase mean to you personally? And how did you come to embody it like this?
Oh, it's been a journey, but
Mm,
for me, it means that I am so grounded in my integrity and in my truth and in my worth that there is nothing outside of me that can shake me. Yes, things can affect me in a real way.
mm,
Yes, I can still suffer, but there's nothing that is going to make me doubt my greatness anymore, because I know that it is in my DNA, in my bones. It is inherent. We are all inherently worthy since the moment we were created, but we forget that along the way. And to me, unshakable self-worth is, you can throw anything at me
mm.
and it will not deter me. It will not crush me. I can feel it because I am human, but I
Yes,
have the tools now to be able to navigate through it and thrive.
I love that. Wow. Now, you've worked in corporate for 20 years and you now coach women on burnout recovery. What are the warning signs that women should look out for before burnout takes over?
That's a great question.
Mhm,
Um, it's the problem is, the biggest problem that I've noticed is that women are very disconnected from their bodies,
mhm,
period. So women don't know when to pause. Most women don't know when to pause, when to rest, when to step aside, when to breathe, when to look inward. What's happening in your body? Are you sick? Are you getting sick all the time? Are
mm,
you stressed all the time? Are you angry? Are you always on your phone? Are you able to be present with your family and your children?
Mm.
If these things are happening, where like you can't be present, you're constantly stressed, you are snapping, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're basically unhappy, or you're sick all the time, there's a
Mm.
chronic body pain, um, all of these things are signs of something needs to change.
Yeah, our bodies give us lots of warning before it actually breaks down, but we
Hmm.
don't listen. As women, we don't listen.
Hmm.
Now, another important thing that you mentioned was healing generational trauma,
Hmm.
especially around your relationship with your mother.
Hmm.
How do you begin to heal when the person you seek love from isn't emotionally available?
I think that's one of the beauties of healing. Healing allows us to not want to control the other person's journey. We
Mhm.
understand that there is nothing for us to do. We're not here to heal our families. We're not here to help our families. Our families are the very first triggers. It's where the triggers were created. And
Yeah.
so once you start healing, you understand that you are only in charge of you. The only
Mhm.
thing you can control is your own response to the trigger, your own response to life. And I'm not here to help my mother heal. I'm just here to embody the woman that I am. And if she wants to follow suit, if she feels inspired in any way, if I cause some sort of change, great. Am I holding
Yes.
on to that? No.
Mhm.
And that's okay. Healing just allows you to access acceptance for what
Yeah.
is without trying to change it.
Yeah, and they do say that when you heal yourself, it heals the generation before you and it heals the generation ahead. You're actually breaking that generational curse as well. I
Yes.
love it. I love it.
Yes, and I agree with that. I feel like it's generational trauma and generational patterns, and I have
Mm.
seen it. I have lived it. Um, I very recently went through. It's connected to the period story, but I couldn't finish that in 10 minutes. But I very recently relived that trauma
Mm.
in May, so 3 4 months ago. Relived that trauma, and I noticed a very deep pattern of triangulation in
Yes.
my family, and I noticed that it was something that happened also with my mother's mother and perhaps with her mother. And so I once I was able to notice it, I said like, this stops here.
Yes.
This stops here right now.
That's with me.
And I can't control anybody else's response to that, and I can't control anybody else, wanting to break the pattern, but I will. I will do it for myself. And like you said, it automatically affects the generations past and future.
Yeah. And also remembering that our mothers did what they did. Our mothers, our grandmothers, they operated with the knowledge that they had at that time. They did the best that they could with the knowledge that they had. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's a very good way to release that.
Hmm.
So let's talk about the social daughter.
Hmm.
Why was it important for you to start something for teenage girls? And what impact have you seen so far?
So the social daughter, I was honored and privileged to be invited to by a friend of mine who's now friend and business partner. Um,
Mhm.
she is a counselor, and she brought to me all of these concerns, and everything that she's seeing. And I could absolutely relate to these girls because that
Mhm.
is very much what I went through. Now we
Yeah.
are adding the piece of social media comparison, extremely unrealistic beauty standards, all of these things. So when she invited me to work with her, I felt immediately attracted to this, immediately pulled, because
Mhm.
it is something that I wish I would have had during my adolescence. And we teach, like, this is something that we speak on. It's how to cultivate unshakable self-worth.
Yes.
It starts with us, but when we are younger, this is very hard to understand. It's a hard concept to grasp. And if our parents, like you said, like, they're doing the best they can with what they had, I totally, absolutely agree. But if their parents are not modeling this behavior, then there's obviously like a conflict there. So we can give them this information, in the groups and the containers that we create. However, if they go to their house and like the opposite is being modeled,
yes,
there's only so much impact that we can create. But my hope is that, they can get these tools, at least something sticks with them. They keep something in their own little toolbox to help them move through these life experiences.
Mm-hmm. Now, you describe yourself as a truth seeker and a truth teller.
Mm-hmm.
Has that ever come at a cost? And how do you stay brave when speaking your truth?
Yes, it's come at a cost.
I'm sure it has.
So, yeah, it is. It was very hard because it was a very. I'm the first person I know that has taken a journey such as this. I have gone very public with my life experiences. I have spoken about all of it. And I do it in the most compassionate, neutral way possible. I am very mindful about not calling any names, not calling anybody out. I'm not blaming anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing any fingers. Like I said before we started, there's no villain in my story. And so, but it has come at a price, because when I started, my entire family thought I was losing my mind, that I'm crazy, insane. Like, what is she doing? And, they saw, I believe that they saw this as like, she's faking this. Why is she, like, she's not being real? Why is she faking this? It looks, what is she doing? And she's dirtying out all her dirty laundry and, whatever. I don't know what it is that they thought, but they definitely thought that I lost it. And so I clarified. I'm like, this is my truth. What was happening before in my social media was me faking it, pretending that everything's okay. It's like the highlight reel. And now I'm showing up on social media, full-blown tears, mascara running out, running down, snot. So I'm just now showing all of the parts, because I feel like when I was going through my journey, my heart moments, my pain, my suffering, that's what I would have wanted to see, to feel less alone in my journey. I would have wanted to see not your highlight reel. Show me the real. Show me the reality behind the scenes. And so I just decided, like, I'm going to go for it. I mean, I hired my own coach that really helped me through this journey as well. Because I realized my fear of being seen was so incredibly crippling. That I presentations in high school, I could never do. I quit dancing because when they announced that, when I was 6 years old, I think, when they announced the recital, I'm like, no, people are going to see me. No, I quit. And so it has been something that I've slowly grown out of, and being, an adult and a professional. But this that I'm doing now, and speaking my truth, and like showing up in like my ugliest way, and like all of my darkness and all of it, putting all that out there for people to see and judge and criticize. I've been definitely judged and criticized, even by my own family. But I understand. I mean, I don't hold any anger towards anybody, but it's come at a price. It's we're better now, but for the moment they're like, she's lost it. She needs, she needs mental help. And I'm like, I'm fine.
Now, your core values are integrity, kindness, and compassion, and authenticity. Which one has been the hardest to uphold when life gets tough, and why?
Wow, what a great question. I think compassion may be the hardest one.
Mm,
Perhaps authenticity. Maybe it's I'm tied. Compassion, because it's hard sometimes to, like, when we are suffering, when I've been suffering and like in the weeds, and trying to understand that this is my creation in a way. This, I
mhm.
manifested this in a way. This is
Yeah.
happening. This is happening for me, and trying to uphold and see that person that's perhaps causing me the pain with compassion, when I really want to be like, listen, like, no, like, back off. So that has been hard. um and authenticity, I think it's kind of like the same thing, to the the struggle and trying to stay true to myself, knowing that I'm perhaps hurting other people with telling my story, that I'm perhaps making other people suffer, because all of these things. So it's, I think
Yeah.
it's both, but staying true to myself, that has also been hard, but I've done it. So yeah, it's challenging but possible.
I love it. Challenging but possible is a nice space to be.
Hmm.
My last two questions for you are a bit of a thought experiment. The first one, I'm going to teleport you back, and we are going to go and sit with the younger you,
Mm,
this young woman who was going through a struggle, trying to figure life out, trying to see the wood from the trees.
mm.
If you could go back and give her three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be?
Mm. Nuggets. I would say you are inherently worthy just for existing, just for being. You deserve everything good in life. You don't have to win it. You don't have to prove your worth. You are worthy, period. End of story. I would say you are not your job. You are not your accomplishments. Your worth is not determined by your productivity, by your income, by your perceived success. And third nugget. I listed these today, which is incredibly funny that you're asking me these. Oh my, I think I'm going to sneak a peek. Can we edit this?
Unfortunately, we're live.
Okay, I wrote this down, but I'm gonna, even live, I'm gonna do it because this is what's happening right now. I literally wrote three truths down today, and I
Nice.
and I cannot remember this last one. It's escaping me. Oh my gosh, people, this is life. This is the real. Okay. Uh,
Oh,
oh my god, this is so funny. Okay. Yes, of course. All of the answers that you seek are already inside of you. Everything that you need, everything that you're seeking, everything that you're looking for externally, all of the answers you have already inside. And it's just a matter of remembering and peeling back the layers of shame, guilt, doubt, that blocked you from seeing that in the first place.
absolutely beautiful. My last question is futuristic, and I'm going to take you into the future this time. And we are going to go and sit with the 90-year-old you. She's sitting in her rocking chair. Maybe she's on a dance floor surrounded by her children, her great grandchildren, whoever's with you at the end. If we could go into the future to meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
If I meet her at this age right now, if I meet her now,
If the young you now goes and has a conversation with the 90-year-old you,
mm, I would say, you did it. I would say, thank you. And I'm so proud of you. I would say, just thank you for finally speaking up, for using your voice to help yourself and to help other people. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think a big thank you.
it is so beautiful. I can feel the emotion in you. And the reason why I love asking that question, Vanessa, is because of what you just said in the previous message. A lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already here.
Yeah.
We look outside of ourselves for answers, for solutions, and we forget to just tap inwards and go within to listen to those answers, to listen to our promptings, and to trust ourselves that we have everything we need to create everything we want in this life.
Absolutely.
No two women are ever born with the same passion, the same seed. And when you realize that you are unique, you know the answers, that's really where you start living your life in a very, very magical way.
I
And the
agree.
emotion that I'm feeling as you thank the future you, I say to people that I live and play with the energy of who I am becoming. I know this wise woman. I talk to her every single day. When I get stuck, I tap into her energy and I ask her very simple questions. When I'm in my meditation and prayers, a question as simple as, so what is the next step? And you sleep on that. And then you wake up in the morning and you have these light bulb moments when you're in the shower and it hits and you know exactly what you need to do to execute. Or you talk to other people about it. You share, this is what I'm working on. I'm struggling with this. And one person gives you an idea, then the next one. By the end of the week, it's like a jigsaw puzzle and it all just comes together. But we've got this. We've got the solution to everything we're here for.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for showing us the example of how to live like this. Not many women know how to do that. So you have a real gift that you need to share.
Which is why you are here, and which is why I'm here. And it's about spreading this magic, like you very well named it. It's a magical process, and we are not taught that. We don't know this. And it's, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. Exactly.
And once you see it, you just want everybody to know. You just want to like spread this knowledge as far as you can. And here I am, in this podcast and trying to use my voice for this, because I feel like it is so valuable.
It is. Vanessa, thank you so much for inspiring our community today. You're the kind of people who make me want to wake up every day and do what I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you need the help, if you need the support, reach out to women like Vanessa. We've got her website at the bottom of the screen. Maybe you've got a teenage daughter who's struggling. Reach out. Don't try and do it on your own. There's people out there who can shortcut the journey, make it easier for you to navigate. So I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Vanessa, thanks again for the interview.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.